Getting up in the morning is something most of us take for granted, and it's the first thing we have to do to allow us to get on with our day. Most of us can decide what time we want to get up, how long we spend in the shower, eating breakfast, and all the other things we need to do to allow us to start our day. But for a disabled person, getting up in the morning is not always as straightforward. And all this is just to get up in the morning before I can even think about starting my day. If any of this goes wrong, it impacts on my whole day.
Danielle, I will assist you to get showered and dressed now, as we don't have a lot of time to get everything we need done.
Contrary to popular belief, disabled people can work, and I did this long before working from home was actually a thing.
You have a particularly busy week this week, Danielle. Your diary is always changing. I don't know what you're doing one day from the next.
This is the end of a busy day, but not every day is the same, and that's why I love what I do, because it keeps me on my toes, so to speak. After a hard day's work, the fact that I have a disability does not change the fact that I want to chill out. I can still do the same things, but at the same time I still require support, so I can't just spontaneously decide that I fancy going to Glasgow to visit family, friends, or for a night out, for example. However, I have similar interests to anyone else my age, regardless of whether they have a disability or not, including going to the cinema, eating, spending time with family and friends, or shopping until I drop.
It's great that you want to go out and about, but we need to make sure it's within your support time.
Regardless of whether it's been a hard day's work or a hard day of socialising. A non-disabled person can decide when they want to jump into bed, which is something most of us take for granted. For a disabled person, this is not quite the case, especially if they only have support at certain times. There may be slightly more flexibility if they have overnight support like I do, because this means that they will have support all night, which arguably means there is slightly less of a restriction of what time you go to bed. However, for many disabled people, they may have to be in bed by a certain time, especially if the support staff go off shift until the next morning.
There is a difference between being a child who's being put to bed and being an adult who needs support to go to bed. It's important there is a right balance and people remember that it's your choice, but you need to go to bed when you have support. It's just the way it is.
So there you have it, guys. I've given you an insight into what the life of a disabled person might look like. Next time you're jumping out of bed in the morning or cozily turning over after turning off your alarm clock, think how you would feel if you couldn't take these things for granted.